and character of this South Hobart side. So they'll have to put in a similar sort of effort today against Devonport, who have been all conquering this season thus far. And Whitney Knight will get us underway. And it'll be Sims and Knight straight away. And back into the middle. And out wide to Ruby Batchelor to make her first impact after coming back from injury. Didn't seem to shirk away from that challenge. There's another big challenge from Abby White. Just trying to squeeze it through. Just a lot of muck in the middle. Chambers with a decent long ball for Mamich to chase down. They left a gap away, and while he's come out for it, White getting in front of Browning, and the flag's gone up for offside. So Mamich just straying off there, but looked quite threatening there for South Hobart for a hot second. It is quite a windy day in Hobart today as well, just on the conditions. The sun is out, really quite nice for winter football. Feels like more of a summer day for Hobart at the moment. But imagine as it gets later in the day, these clouds come in, it will cool off a little bit. And yeah, this breeze blowing towards where the Devonport goalkeeper is at the moment, so right of screen for viewers at home. There's good foot in there from King. Browning. Nice ball out wide for Watkins. He's got Emmett for company. Mamich has two bodies in front of her. White's tracked her well and uses her frame to get around it. Mamich trying to battle with it with Bidwell. And Devonport do get away, and they'll use Knight. Capel, 1-2. Good ball in the middle to Sims. He's turning through some traffic. Big foot in. Choi, but Sims doing well to keep possession. I see the confidence of Grace Sims on the ball already. I think she's been one of the key improvers this season, still an incredibly young player. See some of those state lists have come out in recent weeks with plenty of Glenorchy Knights and other players, including Sims, scattered around the WSL, a few out of Riverside as well. Good to see that next generation coming through. And I think for Devonport, that's really been the key for this season, is they have very good veterans, likes of King, Foot, Knight, Capel, basically half a team of really experienced players. And then you've got this crop of young talent, able to sort of push the older players, Bidwell, Sims, Abby White as well. Just got that good combination. South are probably more similar age profile from what I know. Still a few young players like Baez in there. I guess after dominating last season, sort of trying to strengthen. Capel trying to work her way out. Here's Knight. One-on-one with Clifford. Clifford gets a nice foot in there. Nodded back into the danger zone. Watkins is tracked back. She'll go into Chambers. Direct ball. King uses her knees to clear that one. And White calming it down. Emmett and Baez. Good energy to this game so far. Fitting the stature of the contest. Watkins wanting some options. She's trying to go longer out in the Batchelor direction. It's Chambers. She gets chopped down, and Sullivan not looking at the referee in hope that she doesn't get a card. I think just early enough in the contest to escape that one, but you'd imagine she'd be walking thin ice afterwards. And just wonder if South are playing a little bit more conservatively than they have, at least last time against Devonport. Caught on the break a lot. Here's Browning. Bidwell does well not to handball that one. She's galloping forward now. Sullivan. Her ball is a bit too strong for Bidwell, who loves to run forward from centre back. Batchelor to Mamich. Good piece of hold-up play from the centre forward. And Clifford tries to release Watkins. It's a little bit strong. Just made a good effort of trying to chase that one down. Interesting to see sort of how Abby White's dropping all the way back onto Josie Mamich, especially when South have a bit of flow. They love to attack into open space and use Mamich to run in behind. And I think they're just saying, we'll leave Bidwell free, and then King and White, you guys are just going to manage Mamich. And she's playing quite deep at the moment, Abby White. I've been very impressed with kind of the amount of different roles she can play this season. Definitely been one of my favourites to watch. Ball goes through Chambers. She's using her quick feet nicely to get it to Choi. One-on-one race and out of play. The other tweak for South Hobart this week is Phoebe Clifford's been playing on the left in the absence of Ruby Batchelor, and she's moved back over to the right-hand side. I think that will be just a bit more comfortable being a right-footed player. She's been getting quite high, I would say, in the last couple of weeks. And again, for South, it's managing the counter-attack against Devonport. They just didn't do that well at all last game. They had a lot more of the ball, couldn't get through the wall of yellow shirts, and Whitney Knight really cut them open on the counter-attack. And I was just sort of thinking earlier what sort of tactics that the Devonport staff want to employ today. Are they going for that tactic again? Are they happy to sort of get a bit of a, or just get a point away? Or are they trying to hit them on the break with the speed of Sims? Or are they just trying to go with South Hobart in terms of battle with them with possession? There's a lot of different kind of machinations to this one. It'll be Emmett who brings it out of defence. King wanting it to her feet. She goes very direct. Sega heading that one away. Sega's been a good fill-in for Westwood. Really handy piece of depth for South Hobart to have this season coming across from Kingborough. She played mostly fullback, but she's been good in centre-back for them, doing a lot of those sorts of interventions over the long ball. She's quite tall, so has to be one of the key players in cutting out those direct passes. Knight getting through a few feet. Nice 1-2 with Capel. They've been linking up well. Right at the back. She'll stick it up the line and out of play. It's a good clearance. Emmett now throwing it in. Maybe King. And South playing with a lot of players in narrow in that midfield. Hard for Devonport to play through that midfield at all. And they've created a turnover. Maybe Browning. Direct again. King pointing to Wiley. And this will be an interesting dynamic today. Annabelle Wiley, I can't say if she's that experienced in goals, but has played a lot of centre-back, so they'll trust her with their feet today, that's for sure. Bidwell, again, loves to run up from centre-back. Her ball's not a great one. Choi, her ball also not finding its intended target. So that wind just does start to pick up again. And it's definitely favouring that right-hand side of screen. And maybe a little bit towards kind of the basketball courts down there. Interesting to see if that affects anything. Sometimes playing with the wind can almost be harder for teams that like to run in behind, because it just means your longer passes can run out in towards the keeper a little bit quicker. But equally, can be just harder work to run into that wind all half. So see if that has any impact throughout this game. Earlier, Browning trying to poke a ball through. And it will be Annalie Bidwell. Again, Wiley very calm with her feet. King. Not a lot of width for Devonport on this side. They're going back down the strong side of the field. Bidwell says, no, we will switch it. And it's still very narrow. And King, I think she wants to get it launched up the pitch a little bit faster. That's a good ball into Knight, and just did touch it with her hand. And South will get a free kick. So that wind does gust again. Just making sure everything's nailed down up here in the grandstand. And you can see so windy that the ball will just blow away at times. Right, managing to keep it in place long enough to take it. It's Baez, Watkins, Capel making good turnover, but Devonport's link up just hasn't been as smooth as they would probably like it just to start this game. Had a bit more possession than they did in the first game. These two played at Darcy Street. Choi spread it wide. Good tackle by Sullivan, who's been hard at the football today. Ball into Mamich. Interesting piece of control. She does well to turn the corner. And White, again, who's been managing Mamich, hooks it out of play. And Sims judged to have infringed right on the battle for the ball after that clearance. Right, playing it to Chambers. Bit of a laser-like ball. A couple of assists last week. And was very good on that left-hand side. Madison Chambers. She's also starting a little bit deeper. They've got Mamich like pretty much isolated up top at the moment. And they're trying to control that midfield space a little bit more than what they typically do, South Hobart. King. It's a good ball into Knight, splits the midfield. Sega, there's a good challenge on Knight. She does manage to get it to foot. Sullivan cuts inside. Nice cut. Squirts it to the top of the box. Payne. And away by Watkins. It's just a very different type of South Hobart defensive effort already. Playing a lot deeper, a lot more organised. Wright's clearance isn't the best. It squirts out. Ponting comes and able to grab it. Sort of had to brace herself for impact. And she made some crucial interventions last week against Knights. And two excellent one-on-one saves, and another one that she didn't save directly but forced a difficult shot from Ella McConnon. Should be a good game for you to flick over just during the breaks as well. Knights and Lions today. That'll be a bit of a kind of a mid-table matchup. It will be very intriguing over the next couple of seasons, including this one in the WSL. But all eyes should be on this contest today. The top of the table clash again. And again, South set up in their defensive shape, making it hard for Devonport to play through them. Is Payne. Ball into Knight. Spreads it out wide. Capel's in some space. It's a little bit behind her. Knight again. It's got Choi for company. We'll poke through for Capel. Was onside. And big tackle from Clifford. And it's a goal kick.
They're going nowhere, South. Don't stop.
You can see just the defensive intensity from South Hobart. They do not want to concede today. Playing a lot more intensity on that end of the field. At least that's what I'm sensing. It's nice from Clifford, but away from Knight. Ooh, the dangerous player, I think, for strikers. She's fairly dangerous already. And Choi's kind of had an eye on her most times. Watkins chasing back this time. Maybe King. She'll switch to Bidwell straight away. Payne. Sullivan. And well away by Maddie Chambers. And with that wind, that ball's just going to fly out of play. South Hobart with a lot of territory there. They're not trying to press high. I think that's really what the lesson is from this sort of opening 15 minutes is South are happy for King and Bidwell to have it. They don't want likes of Whitney Knight and Abby White to have the ball. This sort of area now, they're going to go hard. Knight's done well to dip in front of Sega. Goes long. Chambers has dropped back in nice and deep. Right, has to be clean here and does enough. Capel. Knight. Beautiful feet, but Choi and Watkins team up well. She tries to release Mamich, and I almost feel like this is a bit of a reverse of the last fixture that I watched between these two sides, where South are happy to soak up a little bit more pressure, and then they're just going, bang, get it up to Mamich as quick as we can. And South playing a lot more, Devonport playing a lot more possession type of football, trying to get Knight on the ball and then create from there. But a very intriguing tactical battle so far. Coaches looking to kind of change it up a little bit. There's foot dropping into the middle. Clifford. Wanted buyers in the middle and didn't really have any options, and Abby White will say thank you very much. Plays it to Knight. Interesting little through ball, but Ponting well aware. She launches it very high, looks underneath. Sega. So the Choi. Can't run it down. I think that's probably the other area that South Hobart hasn't been super fluid in. Basically, since the last Devonport game. Just with Roberts not being in the side, they don't have that strong base of midfield that she really provides. And they've kind of had to work out what they want to do in that area, just because Byers and Choi really like to push on, and they are threatening players, and then they've got Browning, who is an out-and-out 10, if not, could play further forward. So they're not going to sit Byers and Choi deep together, but it looks like they are doing that today. I think that will probably help them a little bit, just to protect Sega and Wright in the central defence just a touch more today. There's Choi. It's nice feet. Chambers for Watkins, but overcooks the pass. She's working very hard. It puts a little challenge in. No foul. And we'll be a throw into Devonport. Comes back to King. Foot. Batchelor is tucked in. Not the best clearance, and Sullivan is away, but nice recovery from Batchelor. She tries to squirt it up the line for Chambers, and does just run out of time. This throw will be taken again. And It's a familiar pattern of play with Devonport. Squirting around the back. King's touch is a bit heavy. Mamich takes her on. White tracking extremely well. Got the ball. That's an amazing little tackle. Might have just jarred that knee from Mamich. She had a bit of trouble with that last week, and you don't want to see that. She's a bit ginger getting up. Maybe it was just a bit of a tough landing. As Devonport are on the front foot, Sims tries to get it through. There's a nice turn from her. She looks looking really good on the hold-up play today. Trying to add something to the young striker's game. More of like an athlete running in behind type, but this looks nice. He's a bit more of a pivot player. And Emmett will throw it in for Devonport. Into Mamich. Ball comes down for Knight. Away from Browning. Watkins. Byers and Choi link up. Chambers, just a quick feed again. Trying to barge her way through the middle. Good challenge from Foot. Gets an advantage on that foul. Sims. Unlucky to turn it over, but good counter press and gets the ball off Chambers, and White has time. Devonport just trying to use the width a little bit more. And South are playing quite narrow. Mamich. Chambers to Choi. Doesn't have much in front of her. Goes very wide. Browning's going to have a task chasing that one down. And it will run out of space. Forward from Emmett. Browning. Watkins. Mamich. Interesting piece of control. Unlucky not for that one to fall at her feet, and Wiley just goes bang. I'll put that one out of play. And maybe not the most confident with her hands, which is not what you always say about goalkeepers generally. That being an outfield player nominally, I think if you just put her foot through that one. But in the wind, that's given South a pretty good position here. Chambers needs a bit more support. She's got a 2-on-1 and no real options. She's going to have to try and do two players, and she can't do it. And again, that's probably just showing South's conservatism a little bit. Batchelor happy to hang back. Choi gets the ball with a lovely piece of slide tackling. Tries to play Batchelor again forward. Wasn't expecting it. Choi just trucking around that midfield at the moment. Some nice defensive impacts. Bidwell. Her ball gets cut out and put out of play. South set up again, nice and deep. They're not pressing. They've got a high enough line that's going to make it hard for Devonport to really play through them. I think King and Bidwell have given themselves a lot of space, though. They will try and invite the press a little bit more here, but King gets put under pressure with that pass. Has to just do what she can to get rid. Payne's trying to play Sims in behind. And Wright's clearance with her unfavoured left. Again goes out of play. Byers. Well, that just slips on the ground. Ball through to Capel. Flags down. Oh, did go up in the end. Finished it off. Did look a good yard or two off. I thought for a second that the offside flag did stay down. And I think that's where Devonport have looked most threatening almost. They've had a lot of possession, but it's if they've been able to put South under pressure at the back, forced a few ragged clearances, they've had a couple of chances that have almost set up opportunities for them. Ball comes forward. Nice piece of control from Browning. Took a bit of a half hop, and Emmett just swoops in with the big tackle. Clifford will take the throw into Watkins. Knight, clean pair of heels. A little bit of a fire up from Coach Alistair Russell, wanting, just going a little bit harder to want that ball in these sorts of areas. And there we go, that's a bit better from Chambers. Goes through, and Sullivan able to maintain control for Devonport. Bidwell played into White. She's got a wall of red shirts in front of her. Sims playing neatly. Good counter press again from Sims. Started with some good energy, and it's another slip. It's the second one in a couple of minutes for Devonport. Good ball into Mamich. Her control is a bit half and half. It's a bit of a 50-50. No call from the referee. Emmett took a tumble. Capel takes a tumble and does get a free kick for Devonport. I was trying to be physical in that sort of situation. You just sort of see how many yellow shirts are in the right-hand side of screen and how many red shirts are in the left-hand side. They really do not want to go 1-0 down, either of these teams. They are making sure the door is firmly closed for now. And I think setting up a bit more for the second half, or if they can't just nick something in the first. It's a good touch from Mamich. Browning points where she wants Mamich to run. She'll get there first. Hits it early, and Wiley almost spilling it, but takes it well in the end. That's a real shot. Probably the first one on target for today. A tight angle for Mamich. Capel trying to play that in between to Sims. Now the game opening up just slightly. Watkins. Foot. Pokes it through. Sims. Just to poke it past right. Two speedsters. Looking at it. And right. Just, again, doing what she has to do. Taking no chances with the speed of Sims. Batchelor launching it to no one in particular, just clearing the danger. Decent early ball, right with a header. Byers trying to control, gets away from her. Now Whitney Knight, she shoots and just chips it over Ponting, who flaps at it and then places it beautifully. And it'll be 1-0 for Devonport. I think for all the defensive effort of South Hobart, that's a bit of an unfortunate one for them to let in. But Devonport, again, you let Whitney Knight have space, and that's what you'll get. I think that, again, just these windy conditions just playing a little bit of havoc with the South Hobart goalkeeper. And Whitney Knight takes full advantage and puts Devonport 1-0 up in this very, very important contest. And Devonport trying to get straight back on that front foot. Choi now. No options. Trying to take on a couple Devonport players. Sega. And the right again. Now, maybe Devonport are almost happy for South to have more ball now. They'll potentially sit back a bit more and try and hit them now that South have to come and have to score. And again, I think a draw will be an acceptable result for South Hobart today, but if they lose, could be the season. And again, would only be 2 wins difference, but just with the way that both of these two teams play, I know that Lions and Knights are very dangerous and can take points off anyone, so wouldn't want to rule it out, but would be a hefty blow in the scope of the title race. As Baez can't wrestle control back for South Hobart. Just a little knifing ball through from Lucy Foote. Clifford, this hits her pass. Knight tries to take on Clifford and doesn't get anywhere. Again, it is just trying to manage that Whitney Knight threat. So I don't know where she is at all times. Couple trying to create a bit of space down the line. Sega ball into Watkins. She doesn't have much space to manoeuvre. And Devonport able to pressure a turnover. Coming in right, heads away. It'll be Knight. Capel from Sega. A few 50-50 challenges. Good chase down from Danielle Capel. No foul. And ball comes forward. Abby White. Big body. And well, stolen away by Browning, but equally stolen away by Knight. And then Byers does come away with it for South. Got Mamich in front of her. And King well positioned, but misses her left-footed clearance. Just rushing that one slightly. Foot getting around Browning just about. Choi now. A bit of space to run. She'll hold it up and try and put Mamich again into some space. You imagine King will see that one out well. Mamich has been running those channels well. But just getting those sort of threatening areas. Devonport are doing well of making her run very wide. And since they don't have as much advanced support, need sort of Chambers bombing forward for a crossing. It means if Hamish does get it, she does have a lot of work to do to create a good opportunity. Here's White. Run by Sullivan, but the ball doesn't get all the way to her. Bidwell. Trying to cut through the middle. To White. With a floated ball up in the air. Foot with some nice feet. And Sullivan able to earn a throw-in. So about 10 minutes to go. The first half. This top of the table clash between South Hobart and Devonport. Payne. Sullivan. Bachelor's tracking back hard and right with an excellent challenge. Just bustling through the middle with centre-back's challenge. Her clearance can't find its way to Choi. She gets another shot at it and we'll just play Chambers. Lumps it forward. Doesn't get over the top of Bidwell. Now South Hobart have some numbers. Chambers. And playing very direct. King had a bit of trouble with their clearances today, which is uncharacteristic. But it's been effective enough. Chambers in a bit of trouble. And tries to earn a throw-in, but the referee says it'll be the other direction. King. This is her pass and Choi. Be Browning turning it over and then Sullivan. Nice switch. And Emmett being, again, that right-footed left back, not providing the width. They probably need to switch it out this side, but now they have an opportunity to get it to Capel. It's come very wide. King again goes down the middle. And this is where South have been quite solid at just picking out these sorts of balls, those direct balls from the likes of Georgia King. Ball coming through from Choi. Now Mamich in some space. Can she get the supporter around her this time? Takes on Emmett. Gets through one. Gets advantage. It's a good ball to Browning. Would have been an absolute worldie of a touch if she did land it. But South now with the bit between their teeth here. Mamich. It's got Emmett on her back again. And Capel comes back to help out her fullback. It's a little bit better from South Hobart. Again, Mamich has been having to run her channels quite wide, and she's been doing well at tracking those balls down. Just need that support around her to set something up. Browning coming short. We'll go to Watkins first. Clifford keeps it in. Good feed. Can't get around Emmett, who's been put under a lot of pressure. Looked like a corner kick from up here. But we'll go out for a goal kick. I think South Hobart fans to the right of me not agreeing with the referee. This ball, again, going short from Wiley. South haven't tested Wiley yet, and it's probably a testament to Devonport just keeping out that threat in front of their kind of central areas. Mamich with one shot. It was a very difficult kind of angle. And Knight with really the only other opportunity of the game, and she was able to just lob it over the top of Casey Ponting. Byers ball into Browning's feet, misses its mark. And Capel will try and chase it. Looks like it's going out of play. This wind will provide South a little bit more of an opportunity to pull one back before half-time. They've got about 10 minutes to do it. And from a neutral perspective, I'd love to see a tying goal in this one. Really spice up that second half of this game. Nice from Clifford. Well in by White. And thrown back in to Browning. Watkins tries for the switch. It's in the channel. Chambers was running it. Just needed to probably go the other side of Sullivan. But kind of a slightly hairy moment there for Devonport. Watkins again. Going to get into Mamich. Well positioned his foot, who's been playing almost a sort of a swapping position with Payne, dropping into midfield when she has to. And it's another good example of how she's playing today. Capel just drops it off for Knight. It'll be White. It'll be Knight. And it'll be Bridget Wright. I was hoping that we would get one of those today. Batchelor. Choi. Interesting ball for Browning. Browning's just maybe come out a little bit wider now. Watkins dropping a little bit deeper. I like what I'm seeing from the number 2 for South Hobart. Here she goes now. Got a 3-on-1. Says, don't like the look of those odds, and I'll switch it up with the right decision. It's a nice ball from Clifford. Just having a nice game so far for South Hobart. Fullback. Choi just trying to survey what's ahead of it. And the answer is a lot of yellow shirts, and they'll turn it over and try and play it into Sims. Right makes the cutout, and Watkins and Byers just not on the same page. Payne bouncing ball through, and Wright lumps it up in Browning direction. And a little bit of a difficult bouncing ball. This sun will be a little bit hard for the Devonport defence in this half. And it's been an early sub for South Hobart. It looks like Mamich tried her best to get up for this game, and it's coming off early. And Nikki Matsatsos will take her place. It'll be disappointing for South Hobart coaching staff and fans alike. She's really, I thought it was looking okay out there, but did take a bit of a jarring type of impact, and obviously didn't feel like she could make it through the extra 5 minutes to the half-time whistle. So Matsatsos will come on, and this will be an interesting little tweak. Looks like she's just going to play the number 9 for now. She's a pretty versatile player, can play multiple positions. And Watkins has gone kind of into a 10, so almost a kind of 4-2-4 here for South Hobart, or 4-4-2, sort of depending on how deep the wide midfielders want to sit. That could be throwing up an interesting dimension to this game. But I think that will be, a difficult one for South. Obviously a big out, top scorer in the league, and a massive threat. A bit of a half sniff of offside for Sims. Flag stays down, she takes it early. Followed up, and in. And Devonport, right before half-time, go 2-0 up. And Lucy Foote with the follow-up. And just as South Hobart were looking to change things up, looks like Devonport will go 2 to the good, and that will make the half-time team talk just that much more difficult. And it sort of came out of nowhere. I thought for a second from my angle that Sims might have just strayed offside. Flag stayed down, and she couldn't make it count on the first attempt. Ponting with a nice save, and Foote just in a good position, and she made no mistake with the follow-up. Seems to have a bit of a knack of scoring big goals at big moments, Lucy Foote, or making a lot of impacts when needed. Really set up the win for them down in a tough game at Kingborough earlier in the season. And there she is again. And showing her versatility really this year. I thought really just kind of an out-and-out wide player, but shifted into the middle today. And she's doing it on both ends thus far. So a couple of minutes to go before added time in the first half. And Devonport starting to get right on top. Just felt that the momentum was with South Hobart just before that goal. Just struggling a little bit. Sims also looked like she was offside again there, but flag stays down.
Okay, Danny.
Doesn't matter, South Hobart maintain possession. Ball goes wide. And Matsatsos, who'll have the lofty shoes to feel of Mamich. Just making that sub just really a minute or two before the goal. Pretty tricky one to kind of deal with at that moment. And I think Devonport just sprung a little direct ball in behind while South are trying to figure out what they're doing, and they can't quite make it count. But if they can pull one back just before half-time, Chambers makes an effort, they'll be right back in the game. Wiley lumping it forward, not real happy with her work. Sort of turned her back on it for a second. White and Browning go at it. Physicality, mismatch there. Here's Knight. It's chopped by Matsatsos. Advantage played. And does go through Foote. King now. She's been looking very central with her sort of more direct play, and she'll do it again. She's got Capel out wide. Just trying to put Wright under pressure. And here's Wright again. And she'll fling it out of play. I guess it did work for them on that goal. With the pace of Sims causing issues. Well in by Clifford. She's having herself a game today. Watkins has some space. Chambers in a bit of a foot race. It's sort of been the story of the day for South Hobart. It's been looking reasonably promising throughout a fair few of their attacks, and just hasn't been quite execution It's not 100% at the moment for the team in red. And I think the setup and the approach has been the right one. I think potentially slightly unlucky on both goals in some ways. Probably want Ponting maybe to do slightly better on the first one, and then just a rebound. And in my opinion, close run offside. Again, we don't have any VAR or anything like that, so I'll have to check that one back on film, but will be a 2-0 lead for the Strikers as Knight going through into Emmett. It's been good energy on this near-hand side. I think both fullbacks on this side of the pitch have been very hard to beat today. And into added time now. Clifford. It's up to Matsatsos' direction. Browning with a bit of a high boot. Emmett acting like she got kicked in the throat. Just gasping for air a little bit. Well, hopefully just winded, but didn't react well at all to that, unfortunately. Hope that she's okay. On a boot to sort of any part of where you're breathing, always can be hard to be winded in the throat. I don't think I've ever caught one of those in my career. Has to be a painful one, and referee will just call for half time. I think a little bit of complaining here from Devonport's side, wanting a free kick as the referee.
Our McCafe blend isn't just barista crafted across Australia. Our beans are also sourced from Kenya, Honduras, Ethiopia and Brazil, then roasted in Melbourne. Just enough
Themselves, the referees, and Valentine also appealing. Emmett looks all right. She's having a little drink, a little bit sore still, but...
Oh, no.
Hey,
Hey!
is that the McSmart meal from Macca's?
Yeah, 2 burgers, small fries and drink for $6.95.
I think both sets of players a little bit bemused here. Georgia King wanting to line one up from deep. Devonport slightly disappointed to not get the actual free kick out of that. I think they, again, I haven't read the rule book on this one, whether they can just call the free and then...
Oh, hey, is that the McSmart meal from Macca's?
Yeah. 2 burgers, small fries and drink for $6.95.
Smart.
What I have to say, they've earned their lead, and Lucy Foote making it 2 off the rebound from a good Grace Sims run, and the number one, or the first goal, coming from Whitney Knight with a classic little chip over the top of the South Hobart keeper to make it 2-0. South Hobart haven't looked too bad today, but they do find themselves in a little bit of a hole. Devonport, just their usual efficient selves, definitely been on top throughout this first half, and as I said, deserved leaders. But I wouldn't count South Hobart out if they can't drop one back. I think the big problem for them will be seeing Josie Mamich having to be subbed already. So all in front of them and a lot to play for still in this second half. My name's Alex Mummery, and I hope you will join us just after this little break. Welcome back to Darcy Street for the second half of this round 12 matchup in the WSL between South Hobart and Devonport. Devonport with a crucial 2-0 lead in what could, well, I mean, there's still almost 10 rounds to go in the league, but could play a big role in shaping the outcome of the league this year. My name's Alex Mummery. Thank you for joining me. Just looks like the clouds have come through. It was a beautiful sunny day to start this one. I don't often get that right in the shadows of the mountain here at times, but clouds have come through and it's really chilled off. And the wind's dropped just a slight amount, which will potentially just give the girls something to think about, provide a few different little challenges for them in the second half. Big news out of this one, I guess, is Josie Mamich has already gone off. South Hobart captain, or standing captain, has, top scorer, exited the field. Took a little bit of a jarring knock and was probably unlikely to get up for this game after last week, again taking a knock in that game against Glenorchy Knights. So South Hobart with a bit of a mountain to climb. Devonport looking reasonably comfortable out there. They've controlled possession well, and they've taken their opportunities when they've been presented. Really only 2 opportunities.
Our McCafe blend isn't just barista crafted across Australia. Our beans are also sourced from Kenya, Honduras, Ethiopia and Brazil, then roasted in Melbourne.
Efficiency, and the women this year have been no exception to that rule. And they will get back underway, and South Hobart will have possession. They'll be attacking left of screen, and I think they'll want a little bit more just width, and they've had some good moments. Like, they haven't played poorly, really. I don't know if 2-0's necessarily a fair reflection of exactly how this game's going, but Devonport definitely, as I said, in the lead up, good value for the lead. And that's a good ball over the top from Foot. Sims in a foot race with Sega. Sega just able to hold her up. Tees up Knight at the top of the box. Away by Browning, who's come all the way back from number 10 to make that challenge. Choi, she's running forward. Nice foot in from Abby White. Devonport players in absolute amazement that that isn't their throw. It will be a South Hobart one. Watkins. On to with Baez and Tsatsos, who is the substitute who's come on. Ball over the top looking for Chambers, just hesitated through that little muddy patch in the middle there. Batchelor. Let's find Chambers. I'd see a bit more link up from these two in the second half. Batchelor not overlapping as much as she normally would this game. I think that's been a little bit of an instruction from the South Hobart bench, but also Batchelor coming off an injury as well. So they will need a little bit more thrust to get back in this game. Choi, interesting little chaotic ball. Emmett with a header, doing enough to release Capel. And she'll just put it out of play. South starting this one with a little bit of energy. Sims and Sega battle for the ball. Sims gets it to Payne, goes through one, and well tracked by Choi. He's had a few of those moments today. Can't sort her feet out to hit up James, who had let out on this near side. Sorry, Chambers. James. Ball coming in to White. Her ball's cut out by Sega. It will be a Devonport throw. And that is the way that the wind is going in this second half, right towards that corner where Couple's taking the throw in from. Devonport will be able to just release the pressure a bit easier than South would be able to. If they need to make a clearance, they can just sort of put it up in the air and it will carry. They'll be able to Put Sims to run onto it. Here she is at the moment. Pokes it into a dangerous area and Choi clears it away. Matsatsos. Watkins. Here goes Matsatsos. She's got some pace. Slides in. Gets the ball. I don't know if that was intended or it was just the ground beneath her, but got the ball. Ball wide. Well cut out by Lucy Foote. Turned on by Chambers. And just got a little bit of a tug of the shirt, potentially, and will be a yellow card for Lucy Foote. Just by the way, I'm not sure if there was any penalty of a card for Aaliyah Browning just at the end of that half. It was a little bit confusing to sort out. So that potentially is the first yellow card of this game. Bouncy ball's a tricky one for Wright. Batchelor plays it back to centre back. Sims and Wright. It's been a good match-up between those two today. Ball into Watkins. She's had a bit of the ball. She's been trying to set up this switch. Doesn't get onto it. Batchelor has to go. Payne, her body in the way. Goes down hard.
She get a card too?
And just picking herself up the ground. That will be just a free kick to Devonport. King, the dead ball specialist, will stand over this one. I don't think she can score from here, but I've pretty much seen her score from nearly anywhere else on the ground. It's not a bad ball in, right, with lovely chest control. Ball up to Matsatsos. She's a bit isolated. Played it back into Browning. With Foote. King coming through. It's just taking a little bit of a piece of each other on the way through. King's up and going. Just recovering now. Browning, robbed of it by Knight. Bidwell. Patiently knocking it back to Georgia King. Skidding through to the Payne direction. Well done by Wright. She's going forward. Centre back rampaging forward. Tries to go around one. Does get through Bidwell, but well backed up by Lucy Foote. So South need, they just need just a little bit more energy. Just Wright using her pace. A little bit more risk taking potentially. Haven't been able to find a way through this Devonport defence. Good body from Matsatsos. Sets it up to the top of the box. It's away by White. Matsatsos has really got the bit beneath her teeth. She's really being physical. Payne. Avoided by Batchelor. Batchelor is judged to foul Payne there. I don't know if there was too much in that. Devonport will just slow things down. There's a little bit of chippiness in this second half. A few fouls flying in. I think South obviously needing to make an impact on this game, and Devonport not ones to back down from a fight. Away by Sega. Chambers. Nice turn again. Turns one way and then another. Just do all herself though. Can't get through the third challenge. Here's Baez. See probably more of her on the ball. Batchelor, nice ball. Over the top from Browning. And away by Matsatsos. And again, a little bit late on the challenge. They're flying in both directions at the moment. South are battling so hard, but they're making some good little passages of play up in this area of the field, but they can't advance it into this sort of area. It's all Devonport shirts at the top of their box. Foote. I'm trying to release Sims. Sims will just chase it down. Haven't had the time they would like to play out of the back. Batchelor searching for Matsatsos. Be right. Batchelor again, nice touch. Chambers, excellent feet. Sets up Browning. She'll turn. Now they can set up the other side. It was well read by Emmett, though. And we've got these nice passages of play south, but Devonport, kind of all angles covered. It's very, very hard to find a window into where South Hobart are going to find that bit of space. Coming out wide, and Sims doing the chasing again. Batchelor can't find it. A window through. Sims through one challenge, still going. Batchelor having to do a lot more work in the second half thus far. Chambers now with some space to run into. She'll want to get past Payne. Just needs to break down that first line of defence for Devonport before playing a direct ball. A dangerous touch. It almost put Sims in, and Ponting is out to it. And you can see South are probing now. Nutmeg on Payne. Chambers with some space this time. She's got Browning in front of her. She'll just go around Sullivan. Goes direct into Matsatsos. Almost finds her. Bit of a hard hop for Choi. Sean Choi almost finding a way through. Payne. She'll recover it for Devonport. And he'll go wide to Capel. He lumps it into the middle. Payne's there, but no real threat. Both South Hobart defenders happy to let it run. Chambers can't quite get there. And South will ring the changes. 55 minutes in. Browning's done well to get through this amount of game. I think for Russell, that has been a bit of a challenge today. He's just managing players who've carrying a few knocks in. They've got Browning and Mamich up for this one, who both went off in that Knights game. And looks like she's feeling something. Maybe her back a little bit. And Phoebe Clifford also coming off, sorting out the administrative aspects, the assistant referee. Maybe Emily Fly's coming on. Looks like she's going a bit further up the field, and Stella Petheram. Potentially Petheram playing at that right back position. And Fly's filling in for where Browning is. So Leah Browning off, Mamich off. What can South Hobart do to their star forwards? Will the change-up work out for them? Sega's under a bit of pressure. Grace Sims just running all day, pressing really well at the striker position for Devonport. Still a fair bit of time in this game. I think Devonport will be wanting to keep as much control as they can. South still have enough time to scrape something out of this. They'll need something fairly soon, though, if they are to do so. It's Flies. He's turning the corner, trying to get a head up and look for something. Looks short for Watkins. Flying into a couple of challenges. Knight with a dangerous little ball across. Payne is not in the area. Into Choi. She's got some space. It's Flies. For her second touch, try and get through. And Matsatsos can't figure her feet out. Choi again. Looks like they're going a single holder now. They had her and Baez playing quite deep. And Chambers just again a little bit in front of her. It's been that sort of day for South Hobart thus far. Onto Foot. Flies. Batchelor. Choi, nice cut out. Anyone forward of the board for South Hobart. It's a bit better. Choi flies. Got Chambers overlapping. Goes inside. Gets to Matsatsos. Heavy touch. Knight not wanting to impact on that at all. Just happy to keep her position. Doesn't want to get out of shape. Foot. Choi. Is there a foul? No foul. It'll be a South Hobart throw. Cleared away by Payne. Just to the chagrin of Annalie Bidwell at the back there. This flies again. It's been energetic, finding little pockets of space. That's just using that little bit of lateral movement. Choi flies in with a heavy challenge, and she'll get a yellow for that one. Just a tiny bit late on the slide. That'll be another yellow for the game. And Choi going into the book. Devonport just grinding it out at the moment. Haven't had anywhere near the amount of control that they've had in the first half in terms of possession. Still haven't looked too troubled though. Haven't had too many real chances conceded. As much as South have pressed. Baez does ping for handball. The hands were too far away from her body there, but referee holds it up. And Georgia King, this actually might be in her in her range. This is about where she scored from last week. She's got the win behind her. Not rule it out of her going for this one. Ponting already had a little bit of trouble with the high ball earlier. She just say, make the save with the sun in your eyes. She does go for it. It's a bit lower this time and slightly off target. A decent bit of speed behind it. I think after last week, very well entitled to have a go from there, Georgia King. Probably wouldn't be giving licence to too many other people in the state, maybe. But she gets it. Into Foot, flies, makes contact with the leg and does foul Lucy Foot. And it'll be Bidwell to take this time, so I don't think they'll be shooting. King probably just saying, struggling with my footing slightly today. We'll say the state of the ground is okay for this time of year at South Hobart. I did try and do a little bit of patchwork, I guess alterations to it yesterday. Ooh, that's a big sliding challenge from Matsatsos. Referee says they got the ball. Can they get on the counter, South? They can't. It's well snuffed out by Foot. And the challenge is flying in from everywhere. Again, Matsatsos bring that little bit of edge to the game. They'll be too worried by that Devonport at this moment. This flies, hitting the ball again. Just being able to cause just a few issues in the number 10. Watkins finally gets that switch to work, or doesn't quite. Sullivan, she's outnumbered though. Chambers, she'll go inside. Baez has to go the other way, does well. Watkins, you touch it onto Matsatsos, and bundled over by White. Just in that muddy patch too. It's going to leave a bit of a mark, but does well to earn a free kick in a dangerous area. So that might have been from the foul on Watkins. And we'll say that's probably the main area there, just a little bit of dirt. They levelled it out again. I came for a walk yesterday. Just levelled out some of these more undulating areas, but still just grass coverage. Not all there today. Batchelor will have that to contend with on a free kick. It's Batchelor with an interesting little effort and just floats over the top and doesn't threaten the goal of Annabelle Wiley. Hasn't had a lot to do today, have to say. But South will be at least buoyed by the fact that they're getting a couple more shots away. King will take the resulting goal kick. See, now they're pressing a bit more. Matsatsos, Watkins. He's got Byers ahead of her. And so crowded in there. Choi, though, she'll shape onto her right foot. gets a rebound and actually a corner, goal kick it is. And catch it cleanly, Pishon Choi. And Devonport, very happy to be quite narrow. Tom Ballantyne has talked about it in previous interviews against South. They're just, I think that's their main thing. They just don't want South to get it through the middle. Happy to let them have a little bit more of it out wide, and South haven't been setting up wide enough probably to exploit that. It's good press from Chambers. Batchelor goes forward and gets around 2 players. It's an early cross. No South Hobart players near it though. I mind seeing Chambers going to the byline. It's a tiny bit more than she's doing right now. Baez and looking for Chambers. Setting up nice and wide this time. It doesn't get through. Sullivan's made a good run forward from right back. Can Sims get it to her? And the track back from Chambers is good, but loses her footing. And Devonport will control again. Sullivan misses her pass. Choi doesn't want to release anyone else. He's trying to make sure there's no pulling of the shirt. Chambers going around Payne. Payne using her body and gets it to Knight. It's been well managed in the second half, but already done the damage in the first. It's a hard one for Sega to control. And just has to settle for a Devonport corner. And it's sort of South with, I would say, more possession, and they're trying very hard to break this Devonport defence down, but they've just got so many numbers back. Really just Sims who's staying high. Everyone else will come back and track back, and they've got good energy to support the forward attack as well when needed. And will be a little corner here for Whitney Knight to send in. It's a little bit of wind to contend with. It will spin the other way to where she's going to kick it. It's a decent delivery. Good clean header from Capel, but have the depth to be able to threaten the goal of Casey Ponting. South Hobart running out of time. Oh, geez, that was a bit dangerous. Sims press almost paying off for her again there. And key today for the strikers. Sullivan doesn't control. Flyers is flying through. Interesting half little bounce and just about good enough for the strikers. Choi trying to barrage our way through. Can't find an opening. Sega. Knight does well. Little back heel. Payne pokes it through to Sims. She's in behind. Shapes to shoot. Cuts back. And set it up on the wide side for Capel. But excellent challenge by Chelsea Sega, who will run after this one. Try and put Watkins in. That's a important intervention for the South Hobart centre-back. I have to say, Sega and Wright have been pretty good today. I know probably that second goal just didn't get their line quite right on that one, but apart from that, they've had a few different kind of saves to make. Abby White will recycle, and King and Bidwell. It's King again. White. Foot. King. Sullivan just edging Batchelor underneath it. Right, can't find a teammate. Flies. King a tackle. Payne. Be Knight. Probably just calls for her just to settle things down, and does excellently to just give Devonport time. play it around. King will play it to Emmett. She gets the pressure onto her. Segar. Right. Segar again. Ball in. Payne with an interesting long shot. And Ponting holds that one. Fly's trying to find a way. And there's just too many Devonport shirts around the attacking players of South Hobart. Watkins cutting inside on that left. Ball from Baez. Matsatsos goes around one. Bidwell managed that one well. And Matsatsos has to beat Bidwell, and then she still has 3 Devonport players ahead of her. In that sort of day for South Hobart. There's the counter press from Flies, and now they're pressing a bit higher. That's what they need to do. And White get it tonight. The ball's over the top from Sims, and she's offside this time. Only just, though. And South need to get some shots on Devonport goal. They've been getting in the attacking areas. They've had some territory. Had a lot of play inside Devonport's half in this second half. They've had to kind of switch back to their normal play style. They started a bit more conservatively in the first. And now they're just really just trying to score now. Here's Baez. She'll have a go on her left foot and didn't catch it well at all. They're starting to just fashion a few little half chances now. Sega misreads that one, but Wright's mopping up. Capel. Good challenge from Petherham, substitute, to Watkins. She's been cutting inside and looking for Chambers. Goes the reverse this time. Petherham's bombed on. The best control, and Emmett will just take some territory for Devonport. Right. Trying to press. Baez. Matsatsos. It's a hop in front of her. Bachelor has a bit of space. And South. They're pushing here and break down this Devonport wall. Can they do it? Chambers goes around Sullivan. Sullivan uses her body excellently. Just shields out Chambers, but good pressing from Flies. Shown good energy since she's come on. And Devonport will make their first changes of the day. Gemma Matthews will be one of the subs. Danielle Capel coming off. And Mia Smith, the other sub for Holly Emmett. So, changing up that left-hand side of the park, Devonport. Wiley looking cold there in the Devonport goal. Again, probably has had a heap to do, and nominal outfield player. It's feeling the chill as that wind starts to really blow here at Darcy Street. As Mia Smith, her first impact on the match is to chase that one down away from the wind. Clouds have really come in just past that lower side of West Hobart, back of Knock Lofty, and it's not that pleasant for spectators at the moment down here at Darcy Street. It's not that pleasant for Sega either, as Knight gets through and tries to tee up Payne. Knight takes a tumble. Oh, long effort from foot. Looked closer than it probably was from up here in the grandstand. Wright gets out of trouble. Devonport pressing now. Bachelor for Matsatsos. Got a few less Devonport shirts to deal with, but ball didn't have enough legs to get to her. Bachelor poking through. Chambers. She's going to have to explore this space. Goes forward past Sullivan. Long ball into the King direction. She'll head away. Flies. Has to win it. And towards Bridget Wright. Nice cut out from her. Now Petherham. Looking for Watkins. It's rebuffed by Mia Smith. Batchelor flies in front of her. She'll have foot to press. She'll turn around the corner and Knight. This classy little touch into Sims and foot. Sims just, I think foot just launches up forward and says, I want you up there and I'll take that one. And do the pressing as well. That's a good young player for the setup of this goal kick. Yeah, they're very aware for this short goal kick, but Wright very calmly playing through. Matsatsos, decent touch, and does well enough to get around Bidwell. Got a bit hip checked. Bidwell is trying to escape any further talking to from the referee. She's just saying she just slipped a little bit, couldn't quite get her feet, and avoids slice of cheese for now. Probably not the worst foul for Bidwell to concede. Another long range sort of effort for Batchelor to have to lump it into. Petherham gets there first though. Sega will have to reload for South Hobart. Didn't get a head up though and plays Sims in. Can she go around Ponting? Ponting with a crucial clearance. Knight chests it down and hits it early. Oh! Just squirts her around the outside of the post. Whitney Knight almost making it a brace for her, and that would have been game over if she hit that one. I think Sega, she didn't have as much time as she did. And Ponting with a nice save that almost made to be punished again like they were in the first half off a rebound. Petherham. Matsatsos. Chambers out this side if they can get it to her. They look to go the other way back towards Petherham, but a little foot in by Smith takes it out of play. "15 minutes to go in what is a very crucial game. The shape of the league this year is Choi. Has space to cross. It's blocked by King. She'll clear it away. Watkins just eludes her touch. I think it's the sign of South Hobart's day. Had a couple of little windows of opportunity. Ultimately, no shots on goal to come with that. And you do kind of have to say, did this game change when Josie Mamich went off? I think just a little bit less for South Hobart to work with on the offensive end. And I think as a coach, you do just try and play her in a game like this. Couldn't get through the first half, unfortunately. Sega will get it going for South here. He's right. Chambers is open, but didn't have a good window to pass through Bridget Wright and tries to play it very deep. Sullivan positioning herself well. Nice in that narrow channel all day. Flies almost for South Hobart. Right again. She bustled her way through this time. It's almost a clip on the way out from Payne, and Abby White strong in the tackle. Batchelor flies. Gets through one. Goes around another. Good foot in by Bidwell. And just holding it up for something behind play. I think Bridget Wright might have a little bit of a head knock. Something. It doesn't look too comfy out there, unfortunately, for the centre. She's walking up, composed, and it will be a drop ball. Referee just making sure Wright was okay. Foot in space. It's a decent ball for Sims. Just took a hop under her leg. And Ponting, and just trying to put South Hobart right back on the front foot. Chambers opens it up for Sega. That ball's a good one into Choi. Opened up for Petherham. Watkins up the line. Again, just making it hard for South to get enough momentum to play right through them. It was the right ball from Petherham up to Watkins, and Watkins would have had space to run. They've been able to recover. And Gemma Matthews see that one out for Devonport. So all they have to do at the moment, managing the game really well in the second half. 2 goals up, the Devonport strikers, to put themselves 6 points clear. Here's Choi. And around White. A bit handsy from maybe White. No free kick. Choi doing well, and then goes down. Ends a corner for South Hobart. They just need a few more of these little opportunities. Is there enough time? Can they fashion a chance, or will it be, as it has been all day today, Devonport holding strong? Batchelor's come all the way over to left back, from left back to take this one. Watkins has come short. She wants to put it in the mixer. It's a decent peel, almost an own goal. Matthews not really wanting to head that one almost. Just almost skimmed off the top of her head, and from this angle that looked like it was just going to nestle right in the back of Wiley's net. Again, Batchelor over it. It's short this time. Away by Bidwell. Batchelor will shape again. It's up to the top of the box. Flies will have to get there. She doesn't. And now Sims is a one-on-one with Wright. She's got Knight running through the middle as well. She get her head up and see her. And the pace from Chambers to get back and rescue that one. And she'll go up the other end, and it's clipped from Sims. Showing that defensive work rate. Maddie Chambers. And we'll get a little sip of Gatorade on the way out as a reward. It's that energy. 2 pacey players running hard. Should get it back here. Yeah, just head down the line and gets kicked by Payne. That was cynical, and that'll be a yellow card for Maddie Payne. And Chambers in the wars at the moment. I just want to keep her running down the line. Another one in the book. A few in this second half. Again, it has been a bit more physical, a bit more chippy in the second. Batchelor sends it in the mixer. Made by White. Whitney Knight now. It's a 2-on-2. Sims is making a run through the middle. Run by Choi. South is still pushing. They're running out of time, though. Batchelor. Payne. In the right spot, but it'll be throw in. We have the men's version of this one tomorrow. Again, it could be a big week in the scheme of things in both title races. South Hobart clear at the top in the men's competition. Here for that one. Looking forward to it immensely. All eyes will be on the finish of this one. There's Foot tonight. White with nice feet, and that's an interesting little ball up to Sims. Does she have anyone in the middle to cut it back to? And Batchelor sees it out, but only for a corner. And George King making the long trek up from centre back to take this one. Or maybe just a short one in the corner for Whitney Knight. They're both over there, both good dead ball delivery people. Knight stayed short, but she will clear out now. King sizing things up. It's the hurry up from the referee. Ball's a good one. Choi gets there first though. And cleared out. No one's left high for South Hobart. And Sartos will try and press. Here's Choi. Flies to Watkins. Touch isn't that easy to control. Gets back on there. She'll switch it up for Chambers. Choi will have to make that little touch forward. Now Chambers, can she drive forward? He's got King for company. Goes to the byline this time. Foot right with her. Sits it up for Flies. Touch inside. Body from Payne. Potentially, she got that one wrong, Maddie Payne. That could have been a penalty. Flies didn't go down, though. And now Sims will put South Hobart defence under pressure. End-to-end at the moment. Devonport holding strong for now. Chambers. Been excellent in the second half for South, making things happen. He's got Petheram. He's looking a little bit ginger out there. Wants an option. Just goes around Smith instead. Flies. Nice from Watkins. She goes down. Referee calls it. And Watkins wanting something extra there. Won't be there for it. Devonport with a definite height advantage here. Batchelor's been putting some decent deliveries in though. Getting nice and deep. If something could find the back of the net here for South Hobart, we are in for a cracker of a finish. Will have to be in the next couple of minutes for them though. Here's Batchelor. It's up in the air, Choi! She is dangerous in the air and found her unmarked at the back stick. And just a little bit wide on the header. That was South's best opportunity all day, you have to say. And Devonport will make two more changes, just wanting to inject a bit more energy up front. Sims has worked very, very hard for them today. Really set up a goal with her hard running. And some of her hold-up play was very nice as well. She'll come off. Michaela Goss will come on for her. And Emily Smith, the final sub as well. Looks like she'll come on for Payne. Here's Choi. Back on the front foot for South Hobart. Can't get around foot. Been good defensively all day, and Knight goes down. And it'll be free kick. Just that veteran mentality. And probably the key player in getting this one underway with that first goal. Again, maybe Casey Ponting wouldn't mind having that one back, but again, there's the wind here today. It's been so difficult to read, and there's been a lot of, I guess, challenges with that. I think that will just Knight capitalising that time. His Flies. It's been good with her movement since coming on. Caused some still a slightly different look as Chambers again has been so good today, getting through those little windows that don't almost look like they're there. She won't stop trying. That's probably smartly from Tom Ballantyne. He's taken Maddie Payne off, who was on a yellow out there. Coming down from Matsatsos. Abby White solidly through for Knight. And then we get Bridget Wright. And she'll send it out of play. Time is ticking away here at Darcy Street. Ball going forward for Matsatsos. She's in and behind here. King goes down. Not called from the referee. Thought she was trying to earn it. Bidwell followed through. Ref didn't see it. And King stayed down. And taking her time to get up. And referee stopping the clock. And there will be a sub here for South Hobart. They'll use their last person on the bench. And Gracie Baez coming off for Poppy Wood. Baez had a bit of a difficult day at the office in some respects, but did start the game well in that double pivot for Choi, with Choi. I kind of like the shape that they were setting up with there. And they'll just try and mix it up one more time, South Hobart. Here's Flies. Can't find a way through. Batchelor, Choi. Choi again. Into Chambers. Choi. Better link up from South Hobart. Choi gets through another tackle. Sullivan in well. Knight. Now she's got space. Goss is up forward. It's turned over. Watkins. Choi. She's got Chambers. She'll go to the byline this time. Can she cut it back? Choi's in there. Away by White. Choi again. And down and away. Time running out for South. They're not going to stop trying though. Batchelor. And away by Sullivan. And Flies again. Wood, substitute. She goes early. Matsatsos is in there and went with the head. Maybe could have run onto that one. It's a bit more like it from South. Devonport again holding strong. Knight tries to launch it. Wood cops it in the chest and gets on with business there. Very tough customer. Chambers with 2 for company again. Can't get through it this time. And is held up as Emily Smith earns the free kick. And we're into stoppage time now. There won't be too much more of this, you'd imagine. Maybe 1 more minute after this one. Referee making sure Georgia King is not taking too much time. She'll get it back underway. Out wide. Probably good to go out in the corner direction, but Batchelor sees it out. I think just for mentality's sake, South will want to get something, a goal out of this game, but I feel like it might just be only a consolation now if they do get one. Can Devonport put a sealer on it though? Not for now. There's Wood. Petherham. Choi. Lodging her way through. Plays it down the line for Watkins. King does enough to get in front. Again, using her body. Poked around the corner from Watkins. On top of it. And just fell over the ball. And King goes down. And she's sore. She's just trying to slow things down, and the referee will stop it for Georgia King. She just, maybe the foot just left in by Watkins. Watkins saying she stay down again, just taking time out of the game for South. He might get 1 more minute here at South Hobart, just with a couple of little stoppages in extra time, additional time. They've got to get it launched. Troy does get it launched. No one's in there though. And Michaela Goss trying to make that one a Devonport ball, and does. And you'd imagine they're just going to try and hold it up here, Devonport. They're going forward again though. Goss gets away from her. Petherham, he numbers over there. It's Choi. He's getting through a few different bodies. Sega. Choi again. Wood. This is Flies. Chambers free. Goss in a decent position. Knight tries to play her through. And away by Foot, who puts the sealer on it for Devonport. A very solid 2-0 win for them. They'll go 6 points clear at the top of the WSL table. And a nice 2-goal lead for them. And they've just done enough today. And that will be... Oh, that will be that, really. It could be the deciding factor of the title in this WSL season. Just a Whitney Knight goal to open it up, making it 1-0, and then Lucy Foot with the follow-up. And Devonport, can't say they haven't deserved it today. They've been very, very solid, especially in that second half defensively. South Hobart tried all day, but they couldn't get anything out of it. And look, there's still a lot of time left in this season, but you'd imagine that will give Devonport a lot of confidence. They already hold the statewide cup. Will they make it a double this season? Well, it remains to be seen, but thank you for joining me with this one this afternoon. My name's been Alex Mummery. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the match-up between the men's teams of, well, both South Hobart and Devonport. And it should be a cracking contest. This one was a good one as well. And we will catch you next time.